Well, we're getting close to Christmas, and I hope this is a very happy time of year for you. I know there's going to be a lot of gatherings, people gathering with loved ones and friends, and let me just give you a little hint of advice during this period of time, because often in these times of gathering, we have the opportunity to talk and share, and some people tend to share more than they should in terms of what is going on in other people's lives or perhaps even their own. There's a verse that I think has just been a real foundational, almost a pillar in my life. It's one of those verses that I marked out early on in my Christianity and have tried to have a place in the way that I think and act towards others. But it says, "He who covers a transgression," in Proverbs 17 and verse 9, "seeks love." But notice what it says: "He who repeats a matter separates intimate friends." Now, that's a very simple verse, and this is a very simple devotion. So often we have this part of us that loves to be informed about other people's situations or problems or their shortcomings, their sins, their bad habits, the private areas of their life. Um, and I just want you to realize that when God deals with us, the beauty of our relationship to Him is that He doesn't expose all the deep things of our heart to the world around us, does He? Actually, love covers. In Proverbs 10 and verse 12, a multitude of sins. 1 Peter 4 and verse 8 and on says the very same thing. That there's this sense where we're protected by the love of God. That even though we know who we are and others may know who we are, He's put a blanket over that. He's covered us so that we don't see each other like that. We don't think of each other in such a way. We see each other through the cross of Christ and His forgiveness. And we understand that's how He sees us, and we give that to others. And that mercy that we've received, we very freely share in Luke 6:36 and on with others. God has given it to us, we give it to others. But there is this intrigue that at times people have, and over the years there's always been a select, very few, but very powerful, the influence that they can have that collect all of the dirt on other people. For whatever reason, so what, quote unquote, so they can pray, quote unquote, so that they can, be compassionate. But the problem is it never stays with them. It always goes to someone else. And typically someone that has no relationship to it and has no reason to know it. Now, I just want you to consider this as we're all gathering together, and perhaps this can be something that we set as a model for the next year. When a person fails, let's say, and it's a private issue, that person should be able to come back into the church or into fellowship or around people without that hanging over their head. Unless it was a public issue, it should be covered. Unless it's something that would be detrimental to the church or to other people, it would, cause some degree of a lack of safety, it should be covered. And if we can't do that, then what we find ourselves doing is separating people from the very fellowship, the intimacy of fellowship that they deserve in Christ, that we all appreciate to a large degree. I think oftentimes you compare this to, remember when the prodigal went out and the elder son wasn't about to shut up regarding all the failings of his brother. But what did the father do? He covered him. He blessed him. It didn't say that he gave him back what he had wasted. It just said that he brought him back into fellowship without any, there was no, if you will, he didn't have to do penance. There was no debt to be repaid. It was just simply, you're back, you're alive. You were dead, you're alive. You were lost, you're found. Let's make sure that that's the attitude we have in our family settings with those loved ones that are perhaps struggling or have gone through or making horrible decisions. They need to know that we are capable of putting a blanket over them, covering them, welcoming them back. What a blessing that would be. How would that change so many relationships if this could be just the attitude we have? And how great would it be to know that if we, in a moment of need, share a weakness or a situation, that same situation remains with that person covered, not to be exposed to others. Well, something to think about for the Christmas season. Till next time, friends, God bless you.